Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Session special show today. SellerPoll live final. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. We've had some dramas. Hopefully, we won't have some tears. Of course, if they're the tears, they're going to be tears of joy. Of course, Yao Kabili is here with me also. He's as her company is sponsoring. As everyone knows, Yao was pulled out of all of the running as sponsors. The same with Isabella, Sharon, myself, and any of our related business. Start again. All of our related businesses. So so we've got a bit of a packed show today. We're going to be announcing the winners between you and Yao and I. We're going to go through these individually, and we're going to take you from the 15 down to 1 in each and every one of these categories. Yao, do you want to quickly say hello to everyone and give us some of your thoughts on the SellerPoll run this year, the campaigning that's taken place this year?
So hello everybody. Thanks for having me, Danny. It's an honor to be here with you. This year we really, although we wanted to participate on the poll, it was very important for us to be sponsors and give support to what you're doing. I think it really helps sellers and the community in general. Understanding who are the main players, who's doing a good job. And so, very excited to be here and be part of it and tell you who the winners are.
Back on. Yes, cool. Right, let's get started with the first category. Let's just quickly go to the comments. Liran Hirschkorn, love Fortunet and Danny. Thank you, Liran. Right, starting with outstanding contribution. So in place number 15 is Bradley Sutton. Number 14 is Scott Needham. Number 13 is Sahid Aquil. Number 12 is Eric Castellano. 11 is Steve Simonson. Number 10 is Liran Hirschkorn. Number 9 is Kevin King. Last year's winner, number 8, is Athena Severi. Number 7 is Casey Goss. Number 6 is Megla Padua. Number 5 is Stephen Black. Number 4 is Amy Weiss. Number 3 is Marie O'Shea. Number 2 is Jamie Perose. And let's bring out number 1.
The winner.
And there he is, the champ, Brandon Young. Outstanding contribution. How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you. That's amazing.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So give us a rundown. You won a couple last year, didn't you? Was it consultant? Just from memory, I should pull it up actually, shouldn't I? Let me just pull it up.
I think I only won 1 last year. I won 2 the year before.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay. So what's the year been like for you so far? How are you getting on? We've seen everything that's going on with the carnage with shipping. There's the other code of conduct updates and all sorts going on with Amazon. There's been some restrictions going on. You run an 8-figure business alongside your courses and everything else. How's this year been treating you so far?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. We luckily are really good with logistics, but even how good we are, we still have about 10 containers sitting off the coast.
Yeah.
That aren't going to make it for Q4. So luckily, we mixed containers. We got a lot of extra. A lot of that is like bleed into Q1. We ordered a lot extra and shipped early, but a lot of people don't have the capability and the capital to do that.
Yeah,
it's been a challenging year for sure. We've been trying to prepare everyone and planning further ahead, and it's just been. It's been a great year for growth for our business. I think e-commerce expanding has been amazing. So we're just kind of trying to ride the wave, but plan ahead and be further out, right? Things are just slower, a little bit more expensive. We had margin compression earlier in the year when containers were absurd. Luckily, prices have come down a little bit.
Yeah.
But we had a couple months where we maintained prices because our competition even though we were making, single digit margins. It was really bad for a few months earlier this year. But luckily, for those that were able to stick it out, it's starting to get better.
Cool. And what did you do to get out the single digit thing? What was some of the things you optimized to clean that up in terms of improving margin?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of streamlining the supply chain. So figuring out some better processes there, being able to send a percentage of our goods directly to Amazon by using some of the Amazon logistics options. Um, and then prices started to come up from the at the end for the end user as well. So we were able to start raising some pricing,
Yeah.
and shipping came down. So it was just a combination of all those things brought it back up to normal.
Gotcha.
And can I ask
Of
about,
course.
let's talk about his contribution to the community. I always follow your YouTube channel. You're always one of the first to talk about events, and especially what happened in China. How do you stay on top of things to keep us informed? You're on mute.
Oh, no, I have a secret. My wife. Oh, the host keeps muting and unmuting me. Danny, what are you doing over there? Yeah, my secret weapon is my wife. She's from China, and we constantly follow the news. I follow a few reporters on Twitter. She listens to a bunch of Chinese news on a regular basis, and so we follow a bunch of programs and teachers that are over there, and we're trying to just kind of understand what they're teaching the Amazon sellers to do, the Chinese Amazon sellers, because we want to understand like how they're going to be approaching it moving forward, and it helps us to try to stay a step ahead. So generally, we'll have an idea from a geopolitical standpoint, what China's doing, what kind of pressure they're putting on, and then what are the approaches that the Chinese sellers are going to do. And so we try to just convey that when it's important.
Super valuable.
Excellent. Right, Brandon, I'm going to bid you farewell for now. I'll bring you back towards the end of the show for a final wrap, and then we're going to go into the next category. So see you shortly. I cut him off a little bit too soon there. Apologies for that. All right, category number 2. So we're going to look at top 15 here. In 15 is Techometrics. Number 14 is So Stocked. Number 13 is Feedback 5. Number 12 is Inventory Lab. Number 11 is Seller SEO. Number 10 is SellerBoard. Number 9 is PPC Ninja. Number 8 is PickFu. 7 is Smart Scout. Number 6 is Titan Tools. Number 5 is Data Dive. Number 4 is Jungle Scout. Number 3 is Seller.Tools. In number 2 is Zon Guru. And who have we got in number 1? There she is.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Well, it probably wasn't too much of a surprise. You guys have been leaders in the space with Helium 10 for a while. Yeah. And so
it's always a surprise, Danny. And you can't get complacent. You never know.
Oh no, you can't get complacent. And the thing is, you guys have won that in a few times in a row, which says it's a testament to consistency. Because obviously with awards, even the awards I presented in the music industry as well, when people go on a run and they're consistent, unfortunately, that is the price of paying for business, is that if you're at the top of your game, it's one thing to get to the top of your game. The other thing is staying there. That is 10 times harder than actually getting there, right? Because in some cases, there's a little bit of luck involved in getting there. But staying there is a consistent pattern that happens over and over and over. And it's not very easy to sustain a high level and be consistent year after year. We've seen this everywhere in any kind of industry. Everything has to go in waves, But again, these guys have picked up the trophy for software. How's it all been going for you guys? I know that we've had this situation with COVID. We don't have to go through that. But what changes is coming for you guys over the next year in your roadmap that you can actually talk about?
Oh my gosh, Danny. Well, this is, as you said, this is a huge testament. Manny, our founder, Guy, they laid the foundation for Helium 10, and to see that they had put such a great team in place that continues to thrive and continues to strive for leveling up and never getting complacent and moving forward. that's what we hope to continue to do. We have a conference coming up in September in Las Vegas. So we'll be hosting it. Lots of big initiatives, more products, more tools, more live shows, more value. You know, that's what we're always trying to do here at Helium 10 is level up. And really, it's a testament to our community and our members. The value they bring us, and we like them to know that their feedback, their commentary, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. We're always listening to them, and we want to bring them the value that they want, not just kind of, it's a two-way street. We want to hear it from both sides. So that's what we hope to do more of in 2022. I can't even believe it's 2022. I still think it's 2019 sometimes, but it's nice that I can add another, as I happen to have, Danny, our last year's.
Wow.
Yes.
I sleep with it under my pillow.
That's probably a little bit too obsessive, and we can have a chat about that later on the psych couch. Yeah.
Okay, looking forward to more and adding them to the collection. Thank you so much, guys.
Danny, it's hard to stay on top of your game unless you have someone like Cassandra. So
she does a tremendous job over there. Do you have any questions for Cassandra? Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking what's next for Helium 10 this year. And I was, since that's my my expertise, and we are looking at if Helium 10 is looking at acquisitions. But I know you're not necessarily going to answer. But is that something that you're thinking about?
I would guess that leveling up is always top of mind. We have our lovely parent company Assembly, and they're always looking for new opportunities in the space. We've acquired some incredible companies, and I definitely would leave that at the helm of our incredible CEO Boyan, our president Ryan, and our incredible team to lead that charge. But I know that when we see quality and we see top tier people in the space, thought leaders, the opportunities are, the doors are always open. The possibilities are endless. You never know what can happen in the IL.
Excellent.
I hope that was a vague but good answer.
Good answer.
That was a really good PR answer. Maybe because you worked in the film industry, you'll be able to field those kind of questions very, very well.
Thank you, Danny. You guys are so incredible. Mwah.
Right, I'm going to love and leave you, and now we're going to move into service provider. So we'll bring you back at the end. All right. Okay, let me just get this sorted. Okay, service provider in reverse order. Number 15 is Multiply ML.
Multiply Me.
Multiply Me. See, I should have gone to school. Number 14, Ecom Expert. Number 13, Buy Box Services. Number 12 is Brand Together. Number 11 is Your Tasker. 10 is Ecom Attorneys. Number 9 is Incremental Digital. Number 8 is Online Merchants Guild. Number 7 is Rich Goldstein Patent Law. Number 6 is Unicargo. Number 5 is Ignite. Number 4 is AMS One Step. Number 3 is Gatida. Number 2 is Free Up. And in number 1, how are we doing, Lorna? GS1.
I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. You guys obviously power the barcodes that go across the world, or you're in the UK office. We've known each other for many years now, worked on a few initiatives for barcode transfer over from dodgy eBay ones and dealing with Amazon and stuff like that. So you've been runners-up, I think, number 3 last year, number 4 or 5 the year before. So
just missing out. Pipped to the post by some good guys.
Exactly. So what's going on with GS1? What's the latest initiatives and stuff there?
Yes, a lot of been going on, actually. We've really been focusing on trying to help the small businesses. Obviously, with Amazon, it's really tricky when you start selling to know what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, how to prioritize that stuff. So we've really been trying to focus on that kind of thing. So we've been doing a lot of stuff through different partners to try and educate people on barcodes, because obviously it's not the most sexy of topics. We know that, but sadly it's something that we all have to learn how to use, and the better you can get to grips with it, the more it can do for you. So that's where we've really been trying to focus. So we brought in things like smaller bands, so smaller ranges of numbers, because we know that the guys that are sort of coming onto the Amazon market, they don't need like hundreds of thousands of numbers because they're small sellers. So we've introduced smaller ranges, so 110, so when you're just getting started out. So we're really trying to focus on that kind of thing. And then we've really been building it out from the other side. So we've got a marketplace advisory team. So we bring in the big boys in, so the Amazons, the eBays, Alibabas, Mercado Libre, those kind of guys, to work out where they're having issues. And then hopefully we can make sure that the standards, things around the barcodes and how those numbers work, but also a bit wider than that. So making sure that we can do things like the inbound process for Amazon vendor sellers, and making sure that that's as efficient as possible. So again, it's not the most sexy of topics, but it's the basics that you've got to get right to make sure that you can be as successful as you want to be.
Yeah, so the big question is, which everyone asks, and I don't know whether you're going to have to pull the corporate line, is where is the cheapest GS1 place to buy barcodes?
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously there's different pricing tiers, so
yeah,
people always asking about that.
We do have an antitrust law, so obviously we don't want to be competing with each other. So we don't discuss prices internally. Obviously, we're all not for profit, so all of the prices are very transparent. So you can just basically go onto their website and see which one works for you.
Between us, just between
us.
Just between us and the audience. Yeah.
Obviously, the best thing for the seller is to make sure that they've got the support that they need within the language and the time zone that works best for them. So that's usually the best option. But I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos that will tell you which one's the cheapest.
Excellent. Yeah. Before we get into you announcing Amazon Consultant, is there any questions you have for Lorna?
No, I just wanted to say that you guys are obviously doing an amazing job. I know that we're dealing with the problems when it comes to barcode, and every time there's a problem, I know your company is very, very helpful. So just to get you the feedback from the ground.
That's great feedback, and obviously that is ultimately my job. My job is here to make sure that sellers are knowing what they need to do when they need to do it. So keep sending them over. I'll keep helping them as much as I can.
Cool. Well, I introduced you to a lot of sellers, but you're okay to give out your email address now for anyone listening back for any problems?
Of course, yeah. I think you can get it on our website, but it is lorna.lever@gs1uk.org, all one word.
Excellent. Congratulations again, Lorna, and we'll bring you up
so
for
much.
final wrap at the end of the show. All right.
Brilliant. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks.
Right. Your turn, Yao. Amazon Consultant.
Amazon Consultant. Thanks for giving me that one. I'm very excited. So number 15, we have Usama Shahid. Number 14, we have Paul Harvey. Number 13, Mohammed Jalil. Number 12, Talal Assad. Number 11, Ashley Armstrong. Number 10, Eric Castellano. Number 9, Liran Hirschkorn. Number 8, Dan Ashburn. Number 7, Tim Jordan. Number 6, Amy Weiss. Number 5, Stephen Black. Number 4, Kevin King. Number 3, Anthony Lee. Number 2, Jamie Paris. And number 1.
There is. The boy wonders back.
There is again, Brandon Young.
Wow, that's awesome. The list of people you named would be an awesome event. I would pay to attend. The list of consultants there, and basically thought leaders in the industry. So this is an honor to win this. It means a lot. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm not sure what else to ask you now, because we asked you earlier on, but maybe as a consultant, give us maybe one or two tips where you see the puck is moving for next year.
Yeah, I've definitely spent a lot more time dealing on the brand side, larger brands that are moving to Amazon. So we've expanded consulting into several large aggregators, but really there are a lot of brands that have done a great job traditionally of being either direct to consumer or being in retail that were just terrible at Amazon. And I think that that's a huge opportunity for people that want to go buy those brands, and for those brands that want to expand or finally are realizing that they should expand onto Amazon. So that halo effect of, you're running ads, you're in other places, you're everywhere but Amazon. A lot of people will go look for your products on Amazon, and if you're not there, you're just losing a lot of money. And you don't have to constantly drive the traffic if you do a good job, ranking organically. So and obviously that's one of our strengths. So there's Amazon SEO. So it's been really good for us to be able to work with a lot of these major brands.
Excellent.
What do you think about the recent change around the search, find, buy, the change of policy?
Yeah, they were very explicit, I think.
They did.
What's funny? It's like the first announcement came out, and I put on LinkedIn. I had posted about it, and I said, they want you to drive outside traffic, but not if it impacts rank. And the contradictory part about that is that any outside traffic impacts rank.
Yeah.
So all marketing in a nutshell is against terms of service, but you have to figure out which ones they want you to do and which ones they don't want you to do. So it's still a little contradictory. Look, I'm a firm believer that if you're doing something that is marketing and your goal is to get your product in front of people for additional clicks and traffic, and you're not doing it to prop it up, like you're not constantly having to prop it up because your offer is good and it stays organically ranked well because of your offer being solid, then I don't think you're going to have any problems with Amazon. It's the people that constantly are pushing outside traffic or constantly having to cheat to keep their product there that Amazon doesn't want, because they want products that deserve to be there for the best experience for the shopper. And so I think that we try to teach from having a great offer, great design, great content, and optimize your listing so that with very little effort, you can get there and stay there.
Yeah.
So going back to your point there with the code of conduct, I covered something on my Inside Seller Support show yesterday, and I went through the code of conduct for the US. In .ca, it's literally perceived. So if you just think about it, sitting on the toilet, you could get suspended effectively, which is ludicrous. But then you've got that, and then I compared it to the internal memo for the seller support team, which covered a lot more stuff about search, find, buy, funnels, and everything else. So when you read the three of them, it just puts your head in a spin effectively.
Yeah,
so,
it makes it impossible. But then they send the signal that they are going to reward you for sending outside traffic and give you that 10% bonus.
Yeah.
Now, is that just a trap? Like, what do you do? Now, they're going to start emphasizing brands moving forward. So building out your brand page, building out your posts, like re-engaging with audiences. But, there's certain things that you just can't do. As a major brand, like they can't stop you from having an audience and having fans of your brand that you want to market your new release to, and you want them to go find it in a way that they can find it easily, even if you're on page 16. So sometimes that requires the use of links, that requires the use of either even a detail page, but you got to be careful because they might just think you're cheating. I remember a time when we were doing ManyChat out of Messenger, and then Messenger started putting a token on the link. So if you linked directly out from your chatbot or from Messenger to Amazon, on the way out, Messenger was putting a token, and then Amazon started seeing the token and thinking you were cheating, even if you were TOS compliant at that point. Just because you were outside of the normal range of traffic coming from Messenger, and they would send warnings. So without knowing if you were actually doing anything wrong. So you have to be careful with the signals you're sending. You probably have to mix up your traffic sources. And I just keep moving in the direction of brand building.
Yeah. And with all that, just to summarize quickly, with everything going around the industry, everyone's picked it apart, and every podcast, every live and everything else. What really has changed? I mean, like, obviously that the code of conduct and everything in place, but what has changed? Is what has changed? The verbiage is there.
Yeah.
The confusion is definitely there.
The enforcement is changing.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
think
enforcement
the
is
enforcement is changing. I think that they're going to start coming down a little bit harder and making it enough. I think this is enough to at least scare enough people to stop doing the same thing. I think the biggest problem where it really became a problem is when these Google links started getting too widespread and everyone was able to use the same tricks to outrank traditional companies that deserve to be there. Again, propping up companies that didn't belong to be in the search results. And so there was a relevancy issue, there was a shopper experience issue, and they can see all that. They measure so many thousands of data points that if anything is outside the norm, the way I was talking about it the other day with my team was, people are like, well, why can't you just do search, find, buy, and then try to mimic the normal behavior of a seller? I was like, no one knows what the actual normal behavior of a seller is. We have an idea of what the normal add to cart to abandonment ratio is, right? But it's different for every category. But does anyone know outside of Amazon, what the normal rate percentage of people that are shopping will go look at one or two competitors before they come to you? Do you know the normal behavior of a shopper? How many of them will look at reviews before they add it to cart? Like how many images on average does the person look at? They track all of that. And so if you're too far outside the normal range of what's normal, right? Like more than a standard deviation outside of normal, you will be detected and you'll be punished for it. So yeah, driving too much outside traffic where you're trying to mimic normal behavior might just shoot yourself in the foot because you really don't know what the normal behavior is.
Yeah, I mean, even with internally in terms of seller support, I just quickly go over what is not allowed. I mentioned this on the show yesterday. If you want to get full context,
yeah, definitely everyone go watch that because I'm going to go share it right now into my group and make sure.
It says any attempt to influence search results by inflating search rankings through keyword manipulation or incentivizing customer searches to appear as organic behavior. You could class that as PPC. Two-step URLs, super URLs, funnels, search, find, buy, which are attempted to manipulate traffic and asking buyers to manipulate search rankings for keywords on the seller's behalf. Rebates or discounts off of Amazon that provide customers refunds or payment off Amazon in exchange for purchasing a product on Amazon. Incentivized reviews, and the last bit, which is the most interesting, a blurb will also be created, which is still pending alongside an SOP. A blurb will also be created that will be given to seller partners that are in non-compliance to this policy. So they haven't said suspensions, no strike rules or anything. There's just people are going to get a blurb sent to them. There's no context there. I suppose that's going to be dealt with into other internal teams. But it's just interesting when they go through all of that, and then you compare that to the US and .ca. That stuff is not in there. It's like, why didn't they even just give them the code of conduct and say, hey, guys, why don't you have a look at this? This is the shit we've got to tell the seller.
So there's two things there. Like that's what Amazon's known for doing. They'll tell you you're in violation of one of these 10 things or one or more of these 10 things. You figure it out and stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And they just scare the shit out of you that way. But we know that they know who's cheating and that it was just not in the positive ROI for them to stop it. But at this point, I think it started to impact the user experience and was impacting their bottom line. So then they stepped in, and this is why they're making these changes. Because even last year, when they started suspending all the Chinese sellers, and it wasn't even just Chinese, but we know that there's a folder that has a file in it with 200,000 known cheaters, like sellers that are known cheaters. And we, as of 6 months ago, it's been a while, but I knew that they had suspended over 50,000 of them who had a combined 3.5 billion in revenue. Now, what they did is they rolled it out over time and suspended a little bit at a time because they knew that the next man up would just step up. They don't lose any money that way. They can suspend anybody no matter the size, and the vacuum is going to be filled by more sellers. So they don't actually lose any money by doing it. But if they did it all at once, they would lose money. Then it would be overwhelming because the supply chain wouldn't be there. But if they roll it out slowly and they suspend slowly, then it works. So yeah, if you're on that list, you better straighten out. The best thing to do is try to be as compliant as possible. But think of things in terms of traditional marketing, work with influencers. Influencer marketing and influencer traffic is going to be a major thing for the next year for sure.
Indeed. Cool. All right. We're going to move on to a Facebook group. So bid our farewell for now, mate.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye. Yael, you're up. Facebook group.
Facebook groups. Number 15, Helium 10 members. Number 14, Amazon FBA Competitive Edge. Number 13, Sourcing with Kian. Number 12, Amazon FBA Heroes. Number 11, Amazon Lit. Number 10, Orange Hat Marketing. Number 9, Unstoppable FBA. Number 8, Amazon FBA Rockstars. Number 7, Amazon Seller Tribe. Number 6, Amazon FBA High Rollers. Number 5, Sourcing from India. Number 4, Amazing at Home. Number 3, Endgame Network, who won last year. Number 2, Amazon FBA Titans. And number 1, Seller Systems.
You need to turn your mic back on.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You
No.
made a bit of a tweet.
That's
No, this is amazing. This is awesome, and it means a lot. I know that I had written out, and I'd gotten an email from Danny, I guess a month ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, and you were like, "Hey, make sure you guys reach out to your audience and ask them to vote for you," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to like give any incentive for voting, and I don't want to do anything like that. But I posted in my group, and then I asked, I sent out an email, and I was super worried that it was, that I may have been breaking the rules or something.
I've said for
then
3
you'd be
years.
suspended.
Yeah. So all I've said, and I addressed this the other day, I don't want to lower the tone because we had to deal with cheating. Not going to name names or anything, but for me, it's you can ask your audience. You can not ask your audience, you can not run, or you can run. Do you see what I mean? That's the options of this award. Anyone wants to pull out, they can pull out. Anyone wants to run, they can. But there's no bribing. And I'm not going to sit there and mollycoddle and run this like a children's playground and explain to people how they can write their social media posts. It's very simple. I addressed this the other day. If you ask for website reviews, if you ask people to leave a review for your podcast or subscribe to your channel, you don't need to grandstand. It doesn't have to be 4 A sheets long and War and Peace. It's very, very simple. Hi, how are you? Do you like my content? Great. We've got SellerPoll coming up. If you like what we do, would you consider voting for us? It's use your loaf of bread. It's your head, right? It's not rocket science. And I think this is what's happened is with what's happened recently, it's blown up. It's like, well, we don't know where the line is. Now, everyone knows where the line is.
Everyone knows where the line is. Like
they choose not to know where the line is. And obviously last week the hammer comes down. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. And I think then people are aware. But I'm not going to tolerate this. I can't catch everyone. But if I catch people and I've got proof, I don't care who they are in the industry, they're getting pulled because they're not going to fuck with the integrity of this awards.
I appreciate
that. And that's
the
end of story.
Well, that's exactly what I wrote is like, hey, you've probably found me from the content I put out because my motto is always to just add value. And hopefully that leads to you wanting to learn more from me. And, if not, then that's fine too. And a lot of times I'll put out like a masterclass for free because I want people to know whether this business is right for them before they spend any money doing it. Yeah. There's too many people out there that are saying, give me $2,000 to figure it out, and I don't want to do that, and so here's 4 hours of like research and data analysis and boring shit that you need to know if you want to do this business properly. And if that still looks fun to you, then maybe you can do this business.
Yeah, you give them the shit, what I call the shit sandwich. You give them all like the downside. If you haven't scared them off
that
by
shit
that
sandwich is delicious. Let's
yeah, exactly.
No, this business is really hard, and so I try to discourage people as much as I try to encourage them, because it's not for everybody, right? So, and it means a ton that I win, that I'm able to win awards here because it shows that the people that vote for me value the shit sandwich.
Excellent.
And now
cool.
I see the awards behind you, right?
The
trophies behind you.
Yeah. Hopefully they're easier to read this year because I have the white wall. I have to paint my wall to be able to see them.
Yeah, do you know the thing is they come in those beautiful boxes and they're laid down, but everyone wants to put them up, and then you got a white wall and you can't see the font. So I haven't put them into production yet because obviously we had to get today done. But I might make some adjustments, but I still want to try and get them beautiful, big, large. There's nothing worse than winning an award right? And it turns up and it looks like the under fives football team, a little plastic shitty cup and mounted. It's like,
It would
what's the
still mean
point?
a lot. So it's
Of
whatever you
course,
want to
but-
give me, Danny. You can give me a
but
high five and a hug.
I think doing those so they're nice, so they're in the future you can look back and and you can.
It means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to bid farewell, and we'll catch you at the end of the show, Brandon. All right, YouTube channel. Now there was, I think, from memory, it's either one or two. There was 1 to 2 votes between the top 2 on this one.
Wow.
This has been the closest one of all. So YouTube channel in at number 15, the boy wonder who's just on, Brandon Young, and then number 14 is Seth Kniep, 13 is Viral Launch, 12 is Sourcing with Kian, 11 is Full-Time FBA, number 10 is Brock Johnson, number 9 is Private Label Masters, number 8 is Amazon Lit, number 7 is Amazing.com, number 6 is Orange Click, number 5 is Summer Brax, number 4 is Jungle Scout, number 3 is Stephen Black, number 2 is Adam Heist, who was leading for a period of time, but he just got edged out by this one. Pay attention, Bradley.
Oh, what?
You're live.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. Helium 10 this year won favorite
Awesome.
YouTube channel. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing awesome. Thank you. Seeing that now I'm not pretending I was surprised. I literally was on my phone because I had no idea we were even in on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, what's been going on content-wise with you guys? And I've seen you doing stuff with Tim. Most of the things I see of you is that you got both your hands up doing the 10 and showing people the legroom space that you now get on flights. So obviously Helium 10 are paying you very well. Where you been? Because I've seen you floating around all sorts of places. Do you want to give a rundown the last 8 to 12 months where you've been flying around?
Yeah, for a while I didn't do any traveling. None of us did. So I kind of caught up in the last, I would say 5-6 months. I went to Pakistan, going there again.
Yeah.
Next month, Maldives a couple times, Germany. That was one of the first European shows I went to. Now I forgot what it was called already, but it was there in Frankfurt. It was cool to meet people in person. And then just, I like trying to make layovers in different countries too. So I went for the first time to Oman, and I just love traveling. It's great to finally, knock on wood that the pandemic is kind of slowing down. That allows us to do this traveling again.
Excellent. Yeah. Do you have any questions for Bradley?
Well, can I invite you to Israel? Can it be your next?
Love to go there. That's one of the countries that's on my list, and I have never been there. I would absolutely love to go there.
Well, January, we're going to talk after the show then.
Let's do it.
Cool. Right, Bradley, I'll bid you farewell for now. Congratulations for winning YouTube. We'll bring you back on at the end of the show when we do the roundup. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, this is you up next. You're going to be doing a podcast.
Number 15, Keyword, the Amazon Insider Podcast. Number 14, the Amazon FBA Private Labeler Show. Number 13, Crossover Commerce. Number 12, Follow the Data. Number 11, Awesomers.com. Number 10, E-Commerce Momentum Podcast. Number 9, The Amazon Entrepreneur. Number 8, The Smartest Amazon Seller. Number 7, Ecom Crew. Number 6, ZonCon Podcast. Number 5, The Asian Seller. Number 4, Amazon FBA Seller Roundtable. Number 3, Launch with Norm. Number 2, The Amazon Seller Podcast. And number 1, Serious Seller Podcast. You're on mute, Danny.
Congratulations, Bradley. 3rd year in a row.
Thank you.
What's been going on with the podcast? You're still pretty consistent, right? 2 episodes, I think you guys are doing a week.
Yeah, we do 2 a week. We just added a replay. Now we just started back this show. We kind of used to do it about 1.5 years ago on YouTube, where it was the weekly news, in the Amazon world, just a quick 10-minute episode. So now we just kind of expanded it out where it's not me. It's other people on my team. I have a great evangelism team here at Helium 10 now. And so now we're making that an extra podcast, but it's this is really cool to be voted 3 years in a row. I almost feel like it's cheating because it's not really me. I speak maybe 5% or 10% max out of these podcasts. It's the amazing guests that come on that, in my opinion, make it, make it.
But that's your job as a podcaster. Your job is put them at the center of the universe and ask them questions and let them speak.
Yeah.
So that's good. Pretty good ratio. I think it's about 15% to 85% is a rough ratio. If you're only doing 5%, maybe you got tremendous guest that doesn't stop talking.
When I bring on Kevin King, I literally just ask a question.
Well, you can go to the toilet, can't you? You can just let Kevin run.
Walk out of the room. Yeah, walk out of the room, go get some food. I'll come back 10 minutes later. He's still talking. So,
Yeah. But it's all good when he's talking. It's not nonsense. It's like,
exactly.
It's a machine gun that just like a fire hose comes out. So you just let him roll. I do. When he comes on here, I just like let him roll because why not? Why disrupt the flow? So congratulations, 3rd year in a row. What's going on in terms of the podcast? Is there any other things that you're doing that spin off from the podcast? Are you doing any lives for next year when you're on the road and you're speaking and stuff?
Yeah, I'll try and record some podcasts on the road. I always say I'm going to do that. I was actually originally inspired by you. I remember you put this fluffy thing in front of my face like 2 years ago at the Helium 10 social with this.
That fluffy thing. Let's be clear, it's a microphone. Just in case anyone get any funny ideas, it's a microphone. and what it is, it's like a windbreaker. That microphone, the cover goes over it.
And ever since then, I was like, I need to do that, and I still never have. But I actually have one of those fluffy things myself now, but I still never actually did it. We're also launching the Serious Sellers podcast in Spanish and in German, either by the end of this year or January. Where it's not me, doing it, but I have native speakers who are going to come on and interview people in those communities, those language communities, with a similar vibe as we do.
Yeah. So, Cass, do you want to have a quick chat as well? Obviously, you do you two work together behind the scenes on the podcast and cross over with content at all?
I promote it. So Bradley cranks out the content. He gives us all the wonderful guests to promote. And then on our end, where you're, putting it out on social. And what I think is great is how, when I first came into Helium 10, Bradley, I think you were on episode 2 or 3. And now we're on, what are we at now? 290?
We just launched 300 yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations. I think we're going to hit 800 next week. So you're going to catch us out quite soon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see also people so happy to be on the podcast. They often try to convince me to persuade Bradley to get them on there. They'll say, I got to be on this podcast. You got to hit me up. And then having them share on Instagram stories after they're on. It's just really exciting. And I think I think that's where also our influencer visits in HQ started. It all became people were coming in to talk with Bradley for Serious Sellers. And then it just evolved into this whole experience. So without SSP, I don't know where we'd be today, Danny.
Yeah. Well,
I have a question, a small question about the podcast for both of you. Actually, do people listen to podcasts like before, now, after COVID? Because I hear from people that during COVID, everyone was just listening to podcasts all day, and now they're a little tired. But then now it's coming back. Is there seasonality around podcasts?
I don't know about Bradley, but we're pretty consistent in terms of the numbers, but it might be down to the volume. And I always say to my audience, you've got better things to do than like listen or watch every episode. Just take what you need, because there's so much content that goes out. There's going to be stuff that I won't cover that Isa covers or what Sharon covers. And really it's about, for me, is to make sure there's a platform that represents not just my voice, but other people on the platform to cover other areas of the industry. So it's been very consistent on the podcast, but definitely on Facebook, numbers have gone down from like peak COVID because everyone was sitting at home and they had nothing better to do. But that's changed. But Bradley, what was you?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty consistent. Like we had our first ever 100,000 download month a couple of months ago on the podcast, but it's funny because me personally, during COVID, my personal podcast listening went to almost zero because the way that I listen to podcasts is I used to have to drive. The Helium 10 office is an hour and 15 minutes each way. Yeah. And so that was 3 hours almost of driving every day I do. That's when I would get my podcast. And then when I was stuck in my house, I just kind of like went to zero. But obviously not everybody's like me because our numbers stay the same, because I think now maybe there were people like me, but then people who were just stuck at home and they didn't have anything else to do. They're like, let me just start listening to podcasts. So it's kind of stayed, it's kind of stayed, consistent, maybe around holidays, sometimes things go down a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I think December can go down because everyone's got their head down for Q4. Generally, that I think is my quietest month in terms of the podcast. But and don't forget, there's so many people since the COVID thing. Like you said, I didn't get a chance to listen to any podcasts through COVID because I've done 77 lives in a row, like without a day off. And so the last thing I wanted to do was listen to any other content because I was pulling out a show out my arse every day somehow and going live at 4 o'clock through peak COVID. But I think with the podcast side of things, and you agree as well, like you just said, driving, I know people in the gym, they're training, walking the dog, passive listening while they're doing their work and stuff. So they require less engagement compared to when your time and attention staring at the screen on YouTube, for instance, watch a video or Facebook Live. The difference is there, you're limited to what you've got to do if you're looking for the visual aspect, where podcasts are pretty much passive. They've been around a long time. Facebook Lives will come and go. We've seen what's happened with Clubhouse. Not that it's gone, but I think that's kind of been a mainstay. It's a safe platform in terms of human consumption, I think, with podcasts.
Yep.
Bradley, great to see you again. I'm sure I'm going to see you on the road next year. Cass, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you at the tail end of the show when we do a roundup. All right? Okay, where are we next? So we've done podcast, event conference. Okay, starting at number 15, Austin Seller Meetup. Number 14, Global Sources Summit. Number 13 is ASGTG. Number 12 is Canton Fair Online. Number 11 is $1 Billion Summit. Number 10 is the Endgame Network Workshop. Number 9 is Titan Event Cancun. Number 8 is Amazon Accelerate. Number 7 is the Virtual India Sourcing Show. Number 6 is Orange Click. Number 5 is Prosper Show. Number 4 is Reliable Education Summit. Number 3 is Seller Summit. Number 2 is Helium 10 Megaphon that was starting to sneak up. But in number 1, if I can find him, and if he's still awake over in Japan, congratulations, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, IL.
So this is the second year in a row, 7-figure Seller Summit. I think as well for you, Gary, you got last year's trophy there. I think as well for you, Gary, you really made a big impact in terms of you've done a lot of stuff through COVID, right? So being everything that was online, it's been a great time for you in terms of out of all the summits, I think you have really kind of pushed ahead with it.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of people, myself, I've been kind of stuck and haven't been able to travel. So, with 7-Figure Seller Summit, our goal was really to help the seller to really build their business, to scale and to exit, and especially I'm trying to do everything I can to help sellers. And, this Q4 with the perfect storm of supply chain logistics, we invited over 30 8-figure sellers, 7-figure sellers, really opened the playbook, what they're doing right now to pivot, to overcome all these high shipping rates, the delays, to really win in Q4. So I'm just super thankful for our audience that this is helping, and we're looking forward to being even bigger and better next year. So I'm just super thankful to the whole community and everyone that watched. And I'd like to, if it's okay, can I make a surprise announcement?
Go on, plug away, Gary.
All right. But this is really for you guys, because I know we hosted our last event in August. Maybe some of you guys missed it. Since we won again, I wanted to give back to the community. So we're actually going to relaunch our 7-Figure Seller Summit 5 right now. So you can get a free pass to watch for a limited time at 7figuresellersummit.com. So just wanted to give back to the community and thank all of you guys for really watching and supporting. And again, it's really for the community. That's why I do this. So really grateful for that.
Excellent. Thank you, Gary. I'll bring you back at the tail end of the show. We're going to get into our last one now. I think Yao has to go at 8 o'clock UK. So we've got about another 10 minutes, but we'll do the last one and then we'll bring everyone on at the end. Okay. Yao.
All right.
Amazon training course.
Amazon training course. Number 15, we have proven Amazon course. Number 14, Amazon PPC AMS course. Number 13, Marketplace Superheroes. Number 12, Private Label MBA. Number 11, Amazing Freedom. Number 10, eSellers RI. Number 9, Fast Track. Number 8, Amazing Selling Machine. Number 7, The Last Amazon Course. Number 6, Endgame Access. Number 5, Amazing at Home. Number 4, Reliable Education. Number 3, Titan Network. Number 2, Freedom Ticket. And number 1, Seller Systems.
He's cleaned up. Welcome back, Brandon Young.
I'll tell you what, man, this one means more than any of the others. They all mean a lot, but we've talked in depth about how I got involved with coaching and why, and my feeling about a lot of the other courses that were in the marketplace when we started, and the gurus that were out there that are just out there to make a buck. And so it wasn't until this month that we started running ads. So for the last 3 years, building up a huge following and over 1,000 members in our inner circle mastermind without ads, mostly from word of mouth, mostly from value given on podcasts and at events, going up against people that are literally spending millions of dollars a month in advertising. This one means a lot. It's like going up against the big guys and having some validation there. So thank you so much for offering the awards and allowing us to be a part of it.
You're welcome. And I'll just follow up on that point there. There's two. I won't go into the first reason because it'll cause too much fucking drama. But the second reason of setting up these awards, the first reason, Brandon. But the second reason I wanted to set up the awards, because I know that the difference is there's always the course wars and people. And I've always said to you, like, my line is I'd rather not get involved in that shit and actually do the other side. So for me, if we could create something where it's voted for by the community, it gives them 9 categories, the 15 people in there. If you're new to the industry, you can go and look at that as a resource because it's voted for by the community. Yes, I have to clean up the spam. Yes, I have to deal with cheating and stuff like last week. It's almost impossible task to run an awards and keep everyone happy. It's impossible. You can't do it. But my goal with it was always is that for me, it's like this can be just the safe passage, if you like. I'm not going to say that I can confirm everyone who's in there, who's doing super white hat. And do you see what I mean? But all I can do is my best. And if people can come into the industry and go, all right, I don't know much going on here, but look at these 15 podcasts. Look at, I've never heard of, say, Lunch with Norm, who's storming it now. Yeah. So now Normie's out there doing his thing. All these different people are doing their thing. Each year, yes, you're going to get regular names, but you're also going to get different names that pop up. And obviously you were up against Freedom Ticket, which is a free course, which won last year. And I know that you do free stuff as well, but yours is a paid course, which is a testament to what you do and the fact that people won't vote for you if you're shit. If you know what you're doing and people like what you do and you've helped them, they will put in the effort.
Thank you so much. And Freedom Ticket's a great course too. I actually refer a lot of my members to that to supplement a lot of what we do. Kevin is great and knows his stuff as well. So yeah, it's not that every other course is bad or anything like that. It's there are their share of shysters out there, but there's also good courses. The guys at Endgame are great, and the list is full of great courses. So I really just appreciate my audience, my members for taking the time to vote. And yeah, we put a lot of time in. I mean, we do weekly calls with them and we try to hold their hand and offer the support. And I think that, I think the real difference might be the fact that we're actually sellers ourselves too. So if we're launching 20 or more products a month and something changes, we know about it pretty quickly usually.
Yeah. Cool. Well, congratulations. You've had a good sweep this year across the board.
Thank you again.
I'm going to bring on the other guys before we finish up. So welcome back, guys. Let me just bring everyone on board. If everyone is here. Is Lorna missing? I think Lorna's missing. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you for participating. And again, thank you everyone that is voted, who supported Obviously, you're going to get people out there who are not in favor of these kind of things. I respect that also. But we will be back next year. It'll be our 4th year. There won't be any code of conduct. People know what to do, and they know what happens, as they've seen last week, what happens for cheating, bribing, and stuff like that. I won't tolerate it. Final words from Bradley. Do you have anything you want to say?
Just hey, it's great to thank you for putting this on. I know it's a lot of, I don't think people understand the work it takes
and
to,
the abuse.
to run this
Let's be
kind
clear,
of thing.
the
Yeah.
abuse
And
that
have
you
to
get
put up
as
with
well.
the drama and
Yeah.
and then how many emails you probably get, like people tattling on each other and trying to figure out which. So hats off to you for being willing to put up with this year after year for the benefit of the community. It's really awesome.
You're welcome. Cassandra?
Oh my gosh, Danny, thank you so much. Another fantastic year. We appreciate you. We need to now get a trophy case at Helium 10 HQ. I think I'm
Oh, now you're just showing off. Yeah.
Just saying, we're gonna have to get one of those in there. I've been updating our team live in our community, our office message, and everyone's super excited. So thank you guys so much. Yael, you're incredible. Thank you guys. Brandon, thank you for all the kind words about Freedom Ticket. It was a close one. Congratulations.
Indeed it was. Gary.
Well, thank you again to everybody, and thank you, Danny. Thank you, Yael, for helping put together this awesome event. I think it's needed in e-com to kind of filter through all the noise, and I'm just super blessed to be part of this group. With Brandon, with Bradley, with Cassandra, and everyone else. Just super honored, and for everybody watching out there, wishing you guys a great Q4, and looking forward to seeing everyone in 2022. Let's make this bigger and better, guys.
Indeed. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone in the top 15 and outside of it. Bearing in mind, this is about that people vote for their favorite. Best is too subjective. This is why we don't use the term best, as actually someone pulled up a few years ago, and they were absolutely right. So this is for people's favorite choices, and obviously I'm looking forward to seeing some new people come through next year as well. And I think with events opening up a lot more, with respect to Gary, we're going to maybe see less summits in next year's one, because there'll be more live events, so people have more experience to come back next year. I want to see our community grow, and I want to see more people clapping their peers, and I want to applaud all you guys and everyone who took part. And I'm very grateful for everyone who voted. And I look forward to seeing you all next year. So take care.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Al. Thank you so much.